ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्मविभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम् We are talking about the fourfold classifications. In any society, there are classifications. This is the ancient Hindu Dharma classification. Again, this is not being justified. We are trying to understand the intentions and the motivations behind this system, which is defunct, which does not go with the and it hasn't gone with the society for a very, very long time. So what is it? What is it that is not going along? Because if we understand this system, it was to have a completely non-competitive society. A society with zero competition. Not at all competitive in any way. That's not the world we live in, and we haven't been living in this world for a very, very, very long time. Competition being the bread and butter of everybody, but the society was organized in such a way that there would be no competition, that whatever you wanted to achieve could be achieved based on your own predilections, based on your capacities, based on your occupation. This is how it was. But at some point it imploded, exploded, and it is no longer the case because now it is all competition. So why do we need a non-competitive society? Because it's easier to follow and work for moksha. That's the only reason. Non-competitive society means I don't have to be part of the rat race. First, there is a lot of worry. Will I graduate or not? Okay. And then with great difficulty I am graduating. फिर उसके बाद what should I do? Then after that I have to get a job. The marketplace is terrible. Will I get a job or not? Another problem. And then after securing the job, I have to ward off all other competition. I have to keep growing in the job. I have to, what is that called? Upward mobility I have to get in the job. This is also a problem. And so therefore, in a non-competitive society, it was already there for me. What I should be doing was already there. The life was very simple in those days. So I just, I love justice. I have nyaya in mind, justice, and I just want to help everybody. Then what do? I become a warrior. Very, very easy. And so this is how it was. And then some people are what are called nerd. Nerd means they are sitting in front of the computer all the time, that's all. They are just reading something and whatnot, they are in their heads. And then okay, they are part of a think tank, and this is what you are, kind of an intellectual, not fit for anything else. And so this is how the society was done, so that you didn't have to fight for your livelihood. Your livelihood was assured, so you could do full time or half time, however you wanted, you could go for moksha. You could study, you could find a teacher. This was very, very ideal until it wasn't. That is what happened. So Varnashrama Dharma, Ashrama was for inner growth, the four ashramas, studenthood, grahastha householderhood, and then life in the forest dwellerhood, and then sannyasihood. This is the four ashramas. So this was all meant for inner growth. So the Varnashrama is there together. Ashrama Dharma is not talked about here. Varna Dharma is talked about. So but Varna and Ashrama go together. Ashrama Dharma is for inner growth, because as a brahmachari I lead a very, very disciplined life. And I study, gain the knowledge. Then I enter into the life of a householder. From a consumer I become a contributor, and I contribute to the society, and then again I grow inwardly, because if you want to qualify for moksha, get married just now. That's the only thing, really, because there's nothing that grows more than the institution of marriage, especially Indian style, Hindu style, because you marry the whole village, not a person. And so then you have to adjust to everybody's egos. Everybody has their own opinion of how you should behave. Not just the woman, the man also. Everybody has to adjust. And in this adjustment there is growth. Because the ragadveshas which you have been trying to battle all your life suddenly go away. Suddenly become soft. Suddenly become non-operational. So then from grihastha to vanaprastha, where the dependency even on the institution of marriage is lessened, because the two people go in search of knowledge as friends. They are no longer dependent on each other for support, emotional, etc. They are not dependent on each other. They go as friends. And sannyasa, one is just roaming the earth by oneself. This is how it used to be. So ashrama dharma is for inner growth, and then this varna dharma is for some kind of a social harmony. Ashrama dharma is more of an inward classification. Varna dharma is more of an outward classification for some kind of a social harmony. And of course, ironical as it is, it has become the cause of disharmony, because the very gradations are according to guna and karma, and this is something which is very sensitive, and it has become the cause for many misunderstandings, and because the system is very defunct. But if we look at it from the standpoint of the ancient Vedic society, we find that guna-wise, sattva, rajas, tamas is a kind of a thoughtful, compassionate, introspective, and highly intellectual kind of a person. Then you say rajas, sattva, tamas. Rajas means activity, so the person is active for other people. Since sattva is the second guna, like maybe we can say 70-20-10 in terms of proportion. So 70% rajas means very active. And then the next one is sattva. That activity is geared towards works not directly benefiting oneself, benefiting society, benefiting others. Then tamas is the last one. And then we can have one more combination. Rajas first 70%, then what is 20%? Tamas 20%, sattva 10%. Again, in terms of activity, both are the same. The first one works for others generally, and the second one works for one's own ambitions and one's own goals and that of one's own That's what they want. One wants one's own abhyuthanam, one's own progress. And then finally, what do we have? Tamas predominant, 70% tamas, and then after tamas, sattva cannot come. Rajas only has to come. 20% rajas and 10% sattva. And so these are the people who are, what is that? Temperament-wise. Temperament-wise. And this one, all this is going to be elaborated in chapter 14. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time over the gunas right now. Because if we exhaust everything right now, what will I do in chapter 14? So therefore we'll save it for chapter 14. Right now, just briefly, just to give that sense, because all this will be elaborated. Gunatraya Vibhago Nama Chaturdashodhyayah. So the whole chapter is about 3 gunas. But suffice it to say, it is enough to understand the predicament of each of these types. So with tamas predominant and then rajas, little bit of rajas and very little of sattva makes the person a procrastinator. Makes the person neither work for others nor work for themselves. If this is the mental makeup. If this is the mental makeup, they are not interested in working for others. Okay, at least work for yourself. I am not interested in that either. So this is what is called gunataha vibhagaha. Gunataha means according to the gunas. Then the same vibhaga we can have according to the karma. Karma means duties, whatever one is doing. So then what is Brahmana karma? Adhyayanam, studies, adhyapanam, teaching, and then Shrauta karma, Smarta karma means temple duties. What is that? Yajna, fire ritual. Then what else? Yajna, fire ritual and pujas. These are the Brahmana. So now we have a karma Brahmana. Karmana, according to the karma, the person is what? Brahmana. But the guna may be Shudra, meaning the one who is tamas, and then 70% tamas, 20% rajas, 10% sattva. So this is the person who will be yelling. Why are the devotees coming? Arey, that's your job. What do you mean you're saying why the devotees are coming? Why are you in the temple? That's what we have to ask. But here, karma brahmana by karma, but the mentality is that of TRS, tamas, rajas, sattva. Okay, not SRT. SRT is guna brahmana. Okay, so the person can be shouting. The person can be, doing the arati. Here is Shivalinga doing the arati, thinking something, nodding off, going to sleep. Like that. Could be like that. Guna Brahmana will be different. Gunataha Brahmana and Karma Brahmana, they very rarely do the two match. Very rarely. So here is a karma brahmana. Action wise the person's duties are in English brahmanical, but then the temperament is that of someone who has tamah pradhana, mostly tamas, not interested in the upliftment of the temple or that of the devotees. Alright, at least work for yourself, because the rate at which you are going, you may lose your job. I don't care, whatever it is. So this is gunataha shudra but karma brahmana. Then the karma brahmana can also be a, what is that, RTS. Rajas, 70%, then 20%, tamas, 10%, sattva. Who is wanting to only work for himself, herself. So gunataha Vaishya. This is called Vaishya. But then Karmanaha. So according to the karma, what is this person? Brahmana. So how will that person do an arati? The one who is by guna, a Vaishya. One who is by guna, a Vaishya, but by duty, what is this person? Brahmana is doing the duty of the Brahmana with the mentality or the temperament of a Vaishya. And so, the one who is tamas, rajas, sattva, what will they want? They will be very active, very ambitious, working for themselves. So, let's say there are few people in the temple. They are all filing and they are all coming with their offerings. So, the duty of the Brahmana is to take the offering, offer it to Bhagavan, and then give some prasad. So then he is about to do that. Then he sees some celebrity, some politician, celebrity. Not a big celebrity, because then the temple will be just, made for them only, and all the other lesser mortals will have to stand in line. But a kind of a mid-level celebrity. So the celebrity he spots and he recognizes him from somewhere, and then what? So he is doing arati to the deity. Om natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto himagni. The rest of the arati is done to the celebrity. Why? Because something I will get out of this. Which milega, some extra, the dakshina the person will drop. And if I do for some nice things for this celebrity, what will happen? Maybe they have a temple somewhere. They will hire me there. Maybe they will send my children abroad, because the celebrity will have strings to pull. Maybe they know somebody in American embassy, and so my children will get visa. They will not be stuck wearing a, what is that called, kudumi, one head, little tuft of hair. They will not be stuck in this dead-end job. They will go somewhere. So with those ideas, half the arati is to the devata, the other half the arati is to the celebrity, in the hope of getting something. Who is this? So, according to karma, he is a brahmana, but according to guna, vaishya. Then, same thing we can have. According to karma, the person is a brahmana doing the same. We can take the temple priest example. Temple priest, but then what? Very, very vocal about social causes. Leave all your chappals in a line. Not even one chappal should be out of line. Gets very angry. Don't do this. What do you mean you are chanting? There are 10 people and 11 shrutis. Shruti means swaras. How can there be 11 shrutis and 10 people? Get in line. And if you don't know how to chant, stop. You haven't studied the Veda and you have no right to chant. Stop. Because the person is very obsessed about keeping the tradition and keeping everything going, and it has to be somehow. So, karmana, the person is brahmana, but gunataha, gunena kshatriya. You see, so it is not anything, this is not about degradation or anything like that. Same thing we can have. We can have somebody who is doing a menial job, sweeping or whatever you call it, cleaning vessels, sweeping. So, karmana shudra, but gunataha brahmana, kind, compassionate, always has some time for others. And if some people just leave everything everywhere, does not get angry, will clean up very nicely, even though they don't have to do that, they will go out of their way to help others. So you see, we don't need to multiply these examples. I think you got the idea. So then, guna karma vibhagashaha, don't think the guna and the karma go together. Guna may be one thing and the karma is another thing. Plus there is a verse. What is that called? Janmana jayate shudraha. So everybody is born a shudra. Why? Look at the small baby. What does it do? Sleep. Then 1 hour later you come and look at the infant, what is it doing? Sleeping. 23 hours a day it sleeps. What is it? Shudra. The infant is a Shudra because it is filled with tamas, only tamas. And then around age 2 it just becomes a Kshatriya. Suddenly it becomes a Kshatriya. Runs around, makes everybody mad. And around age 3 it's all mine, this is mine, mine. Becomes a Vaishya. Like this, one grows, one has to grow into a Guna Brahmana, and that is possible. Regardless of one's profession, regardless of one's occupation, the internal growth, regardless of one's societal position and status, the idea was in the Veda for the person to be a Brahmana guna-wise. Brahmani charitum Sheelam asya asti iti brahmanaha. The one who has the Sheela. Sheela means the ability, the commitment and the ability to walk in Brahman, to pursue Brahman, to be committed to Brahman. That is the definition of Brahmana, not an easy thing. That means so much inner growth has to be there. So it's not just action. And here the birth is nowhere pointed out. And in the ancient times and even in the not ancient times, there was a lot of lateral movement possible. When telling you the story of Mahabharata, I told you Drona was by birth what? Brahmana. But what was the work he was doing? Kshatriya's job he was doing. Like that, lot of lateral movement was possible. It was not by birth. Later on it became much more well entrenched and some kind of a badge of honor, etc. But that is not how it was. Even now if you go to South Indian temples, there are these statues you will see inside the temple of various saints, Nayanmars, and all of them are worshipped. They are all worshipped. But they were not Jati Brahmanas, they were not born in a Brahmana family. But because of their knowledge, because of their compassion, because of what they knew, because of how they conducted their lives, they are marked as worshipful. Because they knew they had Atma Jnanam. Once you have Atma Jnanam, even if one is a Brahmana, that is all given up. As a sannyasi, one gives up all that. All the lakshanas of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, etc. are all given up. There is no purpose for that anymore. So therefore, so this is a very dicey topic, because generally what do? We conflate the birth and the occupation and the guna together. That's when it becomes a cause of confusion and hurt. But the Veda makes it very clear that gunataha, according to guna, if you want to earn the title of Brahmanahood, then it has to be accompanied by individual internal growth. There has to be internal growth for Brahmanahood to come, and that's where the whole society is headed. That is why the Lord is not worried. The Lord simply says, Mama Vartma Anuvartante. They are all trying. Oh, this person is not trying. So this person is not trying. That is one's judgment. That is my judgment. If I say this person is not trying, they are only sleeping all day, that's my judgment. That's my perception. Bhagavad doesn't say they are not trying. They are trying. But there are things in the way. That's what it is. And again, there is a kind of mind over matter which one has to learn to do. That is how one leapfrogs into Brahmana Dharma, if not Brahmana Karma. Brahmana's internal, that composition I can enjoy the disposition of the Brahmana without really being worried about the profession. And for that there has to be growth. So the first thing to do is give up non-action. Give that up. And this is being directed to Arjuna, who had committed himself to non-action. He said, I don't want to fight this war. That is why this is being told. Alasyam hi manushyanam sharirastho mahan ripuhu. Mahan ripuhu means great enemy. For whom? Manushyanam, for all the people. What? Alasyam. Procrastination, laziness. The laziness does not belong to you, it belongs to the body. It is made clear in this verse. Sharirastha, where does the laziness sit? In the body. So that's why mind over matter. What is mind over matter? If you don't mind, it does not matter. That is mind over matter. You don't mind, it doesn't matter. Mind over matter means that free will which is there, which is in the free will should not join the ragadveshas. I take the free will out of the ragadveshas and then harness it towards other things which make this life worthwhile. That is the first line of the shloka. Alasyam hi manushyanam sharirastho Mahan ripuhu nasti udyamas samaha. Nasti udyamena samaha. Nothing like hard work, following which na avasidati. The person does not get into sorrow. Hard work is something, whatever one has to do, that much amount of work is something because of which the person doesn't get into sorrow. So this is specifically being told to Arjuna. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam. Yes, it's an intricate and very intriguing kind of a system of guna, karma, etc. Of course, it has been devised by me. But before you come with chappals, saying, why did you do this terrible kind of a system? I say, tasya kartaram api mam vidhi akartaram avyayam. I am not the agent of anything. Nothing is outside of me, but I am not the agent of any one thing ever. So this is from the 13th verse, it is going to now from the 13th up till the 18th verse, 17th verse, there is an introduction, and from the 18th to the 24th verses, maybe 25. So there is the crux of the vision of the entire Bhagavad Gita is going to be presented here in the form of knowledge. So these verses are not only important for this chapter, but for the whole of the Bhagavad Gita. Some wonderful verses are coming. So I had been saving this till now. Now is the time to introduce this. What is the name of this chapter? Look at the end and tell me. Jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Yoga here is not standing on the head. Yoga means title. Jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Now there are 3 words in this. Jnana, karma and sannyasa. So this is a 3-word compound. How do I do padavichheda of this samasa, not samosa, okay? Yeah. Do not think of samosa. So, samasa. So, the padavichheda means how do I break this up? So, we can say jnana. So, one way to try to break this up is to say jnanam. What is jnanam? Knowledge. And karma. What is karma? Action. And then what is sannyasa? Giving up both of them. Giving up jnanam, giving up karma also. Is this the correct like breaking up? No. No. So, jnanam cha, karma cha, jnana karmani together. Okay? Then, jnana karmanoho sannyasah. No. Then if I give up knowledge and if I give up action, then this would be the last verse that I am going to study. Because the next verse will be knowledge or knowledge of some action. And so this will be the end of the Bhagavad Gita. So therefore we have to break this up very differently. Karmanaha sannyasa, karma sannyasa, how jnanena karmanaha sannyasa. The renunciation of action through knowledge of the self and through knowledge of action and inaction as well, really speaking. So this is the title of the chapter, the renunciation of action through self-knowledge. So here it's not a real renunciation, although it can be if that's the ashrama you want. That's just, wearing orange. More important than wearing orange on the body is to dress the heart in little orange dhotis. Dress the heart. That is real sannyasa. The heart is wearing an orange dhoti, and how to do that, how to make the heart wear an orange vastram is the topic of this chapter. This is how this chapter is to be studied. Because it is cognitively, I let go of the results of action. That was already talked about earlier, letting go of the results of action. But here, the knowledge is brought in. Earlier, I was letting go of the results of action. Why? To keep ragadvesha in check, to have inner growth. That was what? Karma Yoga. But now we are going to the topic of jnanam. So therefore, this is the turn it takes starting this verse. And you'll see why. Namam karmani limpanti. Namam karmani limpanti. Name karma phale spruha. Name karma phale spruha. Iti mam yo bhijanati. Iti mam yo bhijanati. Karma bhirna sabadhyate. Karma bhirna sabadhyate. Look at me, Arjuna. The Lord makes himself a model, a role model, an example. So, look at me. What is it that I want to share with you? Karmani namam limpanti. Limpanti doesn't mean they limp. No. Okay. Limpati, limpataha, limpanti means do not stick. Namam karmani limpanti. The karmas that I do, and there are many things that I do, they don't stick to me. I am teaching you the Bhagavad Gita, but you are not understanding much because still 18 chapters are there, 14 more chapters to go. So it's clear that you are understanding at a very slow pace. Lord could have said that easily, but I am not affected by that at all. I don't want to take a little whip and say, come on, fast. What can you not understand about Karma Yoga? How many times have we talked about it? Get this. No. I teach because I am joyful and my nature is joy, harmony, ananda. I teach. If someone wants to get it, let them get it and enjoy it and be just like me. I will celebrate with them. And if someone does not get it and prays to me for better clarity and better ragadvesha management, I will bless them. And if someone doesn't get it and doesn't want to get it, then also I bless them. let them go on their way, no problem at all. I have no attachment to the outcome of my karma. That's why what I do doesn't leave a residue, whatever I do does not leave a residue in me. Why did I do this? Why couldn't I have taught better? Lord Krishna doesn't think that. Lord Krishna is just not affected by action. Why? Does not think himself to be an actor. Why does he not think himself to be an actor? Because he has self-knowledge which reveals the nature of the I as free of action, free of results of action. What is the cause of action? Raga-dvesha. Raga-dvesha are not there in whom. That is why for that person there will be no karma phala. Raga-dvesha are not there. And this was said in chapter 3. Na avaptam avaptavyam. Na anaptam avaptavyam. Varta eva cha karmani. Look at me. There is nothing I need to gain. Nothing I need to gain in all the three worlds, O Arjuna. Still I do whatever I am supposed to do. There is nothing that is not gained that I need to gain. There is nothing that I have that I need to get rid of. But still I continue doing whatever I have to do. Why? Because I do not depend on the emotional support of the people who are recipients of my action. This is another kind of karma phala we have to be very careful of. Usually karma phala, we think of, phalam as something tangible, orange, apple, etc. So, no, karma phala can be very, very subtle. I do something and then I expect to gain validation from friends, from family, from everybody. So, this is generally the motive for doing. The motive for doing is to feel like one belongs, to feel appreciated, to feel validated, to feel that one really matters. This is the reason why most people do actions. When we are honest with ourselves and think of the motives, this is what will come. At least 2-3 people should say, Shabash, wonderful, congrats, wah wah, very nice, encore, do it again. That is why I do things. But now, that is how everybody will think, that this is why I ultimately do things, so that to be more acceptable, to be more appreciated, to be more validated, to have more friends and people who like me, people who think highly of me. Why do I need all this? I don't think highly of myself. I don't know how to validate myself. I don't know how to uplift myself. I don't have self-confidence, therefore I depend on the other person. And this is through two kinds of karma. One kind is what is called pleasing karma. Whatever I do, I just make sure that the other person notices it, and then I wait for karma phala. A few words of praise. Yes, you did good. That's all I want. That's what you tell yourself. This time that's all you want. Next time you want more. What is that? There is some soda advertisement. Dil mange more. Yeah, the heart wants more and more. One time you say very good, thank you. Next time that very good is not good enough. Next time it should be very good plus, A++. And then after that, the following time it should be more and more. Because the same reward is not enough. One wants more and more reward for the same actions. This is how in the world actions are done, and the results of action are eagerly awaited. Not just the local results of action, but also the feel-good results of action. Somebody will approve, somebody will validate, somebody will appreciate. Now, if Bhagavan also waited for our approval, then nothing, the sun even won't rise. because because the jivas are extremely critical. We even criticize Bhagavan in the guise of praying. That is what the Sri Rudram is. Drape, Andhasaspate, Daridraha, Neelalohitaha. This is what it is. You terrible person. How can you do this to me? You're giving me my karma phala. So, how could you do this to me? Look at that person over there. Very adharmic, and I'm pointing, I'm saying, go there, don't come here, go there. Still, all the arrows are directed at me. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, the karma, directing only my karma you see, other people's karma you don't see. Are you blind? This is how we pray to Bhagavan. So Bhagavan cannot afford to wait for our validation, because we as jivas will never validate. Jivas will never validate. Bhagavan also need not wait for the validation of the jivas, because there is nothing that Bhagavan wants. Nothing is wanted. Completely free of any agenda, gross or subtle. No agenda, not even a whiff of, oh, maybe the world will feel good. No, I will feel good seeing the world. No, the world is not separate from me. Bhagavan already knows this. So just like I don't have to feel, I don't have to make the little finger of the left hand feel good. Why? Because it is me. I don't have to make the leg feel good, because it is me. For Bhagavan, the entire Jagat is Bhagavan alone. So there is nothing to make somebody feel good and have a codependent relationship. I scratch your back and then you will scratch my back. I will appreciate you and you will appreciate me, and very soon we will have a mutually appreciative society. No such thing. Therefore, namam karmani limpanti, the karmas do not stick to me. And why don't the karmas stick to me? In the next line, he is going to say, Name karma phale spriha. I do not have any spriha. Spriha means ichha. Sprih, to desire. I have no truck, no desire with the results of action. I am totally unconnected to the results of action. Happen what may. Let anything happen. I am still very much focused on whatever needing to be done, I do. And look at all the karmas I have done. So many demons I have squashed, and then still some more to come. And then I'm fighting, even though I said I won't fight the war, I'm driving this chariot. All the arrows come towards me first before they go to you. I'm protecting you. Plus, in this unenviable situation, I'm giving you spiritual instruction. I'm doing a lot, but I have no truck with karma phala, results of action. I have no interest in that at all. Since I have no interest in the results of action, the karma does not make me tense. Whatever I have to do, I do, because I'm not expecting anything in return. Name karma phale spriha. Now the one who has understood this will also not be touched by karma. The last line says, Iti, in this manner, yaha, the person, the one who, abhijananti, abhitaha, completely, janati, abhijanati, iti mam, the one who knows me in this manner, karma bhihi, by the karmas that person does, nasabadhyate, that person is not imprisoned in the bars of the cage of karma. Karma, karma phala, not there. There are no bars on the cage of karma, there is no cage. And why? The person is free. because the person knows me, and anybody who knows the truth of my nature knows me fully, knows me totally. That means what? They also don't have karma phala spriha. They also don't have the desire to get this, that, and everything out of karma. So therefore, we have to keep a watch how from gross karma phala we start wanting subtler and subtler karma phala in the form of feeling accomplished, in the form of those accomplishments being noticed by everybody. Pujya Swamiji used to tell a nice story. This lady went and got one expensive artifact, something to keep in the showcase, some kind of a sculpture. Then she thought, we should have a party, because what use is the sculpture if nobody looks at it? Let's invite a few people over. So then she invited a few people over, and the party was well underway. The guests were very polite. They appreciated her, her husband, her family, her children, and they appreciated the food, but they didn't even look at the sculpture. Suddenly she had a doubt. What is this? This is something terrible. Nobody is looking at the sculpture at all. But then, this is a very elite, civilized party. All upper crust of the society has come. And it doesn't look nice to say, look at this sculpture I brought. What do you think of it? No, I can't do that. So then she madly began gesticulating at the sculpture. The sculpture was there. So she went and stood next to it. The other day I was looking at this, and this is what happened, and people are wondering, what's wrong with you? Do you need to sit down? Why are you keeping on talking with your hands all of a sudden? Still nobody appreciated the sculpture. So even though it was a very nice party, she was so depressed. And the next day, she went and kept the sculpture in the garage for garage sale. In America, they do garage sale. So whatever you don't want goes from the living room to the garage, and then after that what? You sell it. You sell it, and the neighborhood is very obliging. And the philosophy of the garage sale is that my garbage is your treasure. This is the philosophy. And people come and obligingly buy also. So you see, if she had liked the sculpture for herself, she could have bought it. But then she brought it only so that she would get some accolades. This is how everything that one does is for one's own sake, to look better and better. That is why. So the person who knows this secret, that once the ragadveshas are not there and one has taken sannyasa from needing to be validated, appreciated, acknowledged, then that person also is free of karma phala, this kind of a wheel, this chakra. Evam jnatva kritam karma, purvairapi mumukshubhihi, guru karmaiva tasmatvam, purvaih purvataram kritam. Evam jnatva, knowing this in this manner, knowing what I am telling you about karma and karma phala in this manner, kritam purvaihi api mumukshubhihi karma kritam. All the people who were seekers of freedom, seekers of the knowledge of Vedanta, people who wanted to dress their hearts in orange, all of them learned this and practiced this. Purvaihi, in the past. Purvaihi api mumukshubhihi. The ancient mumukshus of the past practiced this in the past. So you have a lineage of people who did this and crossed over samsara. You are not alone, Arjuna. You have examples here. Evam jnatva, knowing in this manner, kritam karma, the action that was done, purvaihi api, even in the ancient times, by the seekers of freedom, the seekers of knowledge, just as it was done, kuru karma eva tasmatvam. You also follow in their footsteps, Arjuna. You also do the same thing. What is that? Purvaihi purvataram kritam. Just as it was done in the ancient times, you also do that. In other words, Lord Krishna is saying, I'm not telling you something that I have just made up. Oh, karmas don't touch me, and then the one who knows me, karmas won't touch them as well. Now, I'm not making this stuff up. This has a long parampara of how people have crossed over samsara. Same method. And here I'm not giving you a new road. A new road that I have just sort of thought up. No, I'm giving you the road that is tried, tested. All the sages have walked on it. And what is the advantage? It will not have any stones, pebbles, thorns, because while walking, whatever little glitches they found, they removed and put it on the side. It's a direct path, a straight path to inner freedom, a straight path to moksha, understanding that one is already free. It's a straight and uncomplicated path. It is not, oh, I got this knowledge apne aap. I got this knowledge. Suddenly I was enlightened. Swamiji always used to say, if you got it apne aap, please keep the knowledge to yourself and enjoy it. Do not give it to me. Because what is the guarantee that this is what works? But here he is giving a guarantee. All the mumukshus before you went through this knowledge alone, went through this understanding. They cut the connection between karma and karma phala. They did the karma for its own sake, and the karma phala was already there. The karma phala, whatever came, I did not care. Whatever came, that is how that they told themselves. They first cut the connection between karma and karma phala, step number 1. And then they stopped wanting karma phala, step number 2. And step number 3, therefore they did not think themselves to be karta. They came out of this burden of feeling that they are kartas, that they are actors, agents of action. They freed themselves out of agents of action. He must have seen, Lord Krishna must have seen Arjuna looking very perplexed. What's going on, What is karma? How to do this? What is he telling me to do? And therefore he gives the next verse, Kim karma kima karmeti Kavayopyatra mohitaha Tatte karma pravakshyami Yajñātvā mokshyase shubhat. Mokshyase ashubhat, not shubhat. Mokshyase, you will be free. And then if you don't take that little avagraha, the S-shaped thing that is there, if you don't take it seriously, then what will you say? Mokshase shubhat. You will think it is shubha means mokshase, you will be free, shubhat, from everything auspicious. No. Ashubhat, that it shows the elision of the engaf padanta dati is the sutra. So when mokshase, a, and then follows the a, that gets elided, and to show the elision, we put a little avagraha and s sign. It used to not there be, it be there in ancient times. It is a more of a modern addition to the Sanskrit language, because I think we are getting stupider and stupider, so we need all these aids, anything to help us. So before it was not there. Before we had to just understand that the A has been elided. Moksha, the A has been elided. So let's look at this verse. Kim karma. What is karma? What is action? Kim akarma iti. What is non-action or inaction? What is action and what is inaction? Don't worry if you cannot tell the difference, because kavayaha api, kavi here is not poet, kavi means duradarshi, the person who is introspective, a philosopher, a scholar here is kavi. Kavayaha api atra, in this matter, mohitaha, confused. Even the great scholars are confused about what? What is action? What is inaction? They are confused. Therefore, don't feel bad about this, because don't feel bad that you need instruction, because even the great people are confused. What to talk of the average people in society? That confusion I will ward off. Tatte pravakshyami, I am going to tell you. I am going to tell you what is this karma, what is karma, what is inaction. All this I will tell you, knowing which means gaining this understanding of which you will be free from everything that is amangala, ashubha, inauspicious. What is inauspicious? Samsara. Samsara is inauspicious. Totally. Samsara is bad news. Dukkha is inauspicious. Fear is inauspicious. All this we have talked of earlier in the thing called, in the embodiment of Alakshmi, inauspicious. Wearing tatters, scarcity, poverty mentality, that is all part of this Alakshmi. Poverty in thinking, scarcity in feeling, unable to share because of the scarcity mentality, wants to hoard everything starting with garbage. And this is the sign of the one who has fallen into the river of samsara and assailed by the crocodiles of raga dvesha, like we saw in the dhyana shloka. And even the great scholars are confused. What is karma? What is to be not to be done? What is inaction? What is non-action? What is wrong action? Nobody seems to know. Don't worry, I will tell you. I will give you all the leads in this. I'm going to tell you, and so you will be freed of any kind of amangala. You will be freed of the inauspiciousness of samsara, and then you will learn this also. When? Tomorrow. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ